The Balkan is talking. We're back on a Monday afternoon. I'm Dee James, and in the studio next to me is news director, producer Thomas Willenbring. And here in the studio, my guest this afternoon is counselor, coach, parent, mentor, Lorraine Purcell. Lorraine, we were talking before the break about your column that appeared in the Herald this past Friday, My Heart Speaks. And you were talking about how we have, well, I'll just let you explain it. We were talking about the physical symptoms as a result of something else going on in our lives, and you said that there's a way. There are ways that we can relieve those physical symptoms, and that are kind of the caused by the emotional turmoil that maybe is under the surface. And you have alluded to in your column. I'm a fan. I've been reading it for several weeks, and many times you allude to a higher power that whether we call it God, whether it's God or our Creator. Whatever it might be, that we need that. We need that resource, that spiritual resource. Can you talk on that for a few minutes?
Great, Dee. Yeah, it can be anything. For AA, it's higher power, I think. For people all over the world, we are a largely Christian country, but people all over the world, they have their own source. And so I don't want to separate anybody out by saying it has to be this or it has to be that, because for somebody it could be their dead mother. It could be the angels. It can be anything, but somebody that's bigger than you that you can look to for direction and for guidance. So I just think that that's a very important aspect to getting through some of these things that can make our hearts hurt, can make our bodies creak, can make us even get into accidents, can make us even injure ourselves. So you'd asked me earlier about what are some of the ways of untangling some of these dilemmas that we get into, internal dilemmas, and definitely bringing it to that source that you use is a big one. But also not holding things inside, but processing them with either the person or the entity that you go to that's bigger than you. Breathing. Some people meditate. It's just important to get beyond yourself and see the bigger picture. Why are we here? And then to say, the only way that I believe we can control these difficult situations is to bless them, to bless the situation, and then ask whoever it is you talk to, God, your Creator, what is my lesson in this? Because it's always a lesson for us. It's always about how we are going to grow through the situation.
Many times those difficulties and those challenges, if we look at them in a positive light, can become opportunities.
Yes.
And I like what you're saying there about that. Just reframe it. Reframe that difficulty or that challenge and look at it as, well, now, what is it? What lesson, as you said, what lesson do I need to learn here? And what opportunity am I being presented with that I might grow as a human being and as a person in this certain situation? You also told me during one of our breaks that you're kind of turning. You're at kind of a turning point in your career as a counselor and a coach and a parent mentor. Tell me again, Lorraine, you're turning from one aspect to moving towards something else.
Yes. Well, I have been known as the parent mentor for many, many, many years. And that has been my platform to train parents to raise safe, happy, and confident kids who want to be with you when they no longer have to be. And that came from a personal experience of me raising my son as a single mom, co-parenting with my ex. And, he is still the love of my life. And I'm very honored to be here with his family now. And that's why I'm here in the Bakken. But parenting was the most number one transformational experience I ever had in my life. I'm not sure I was cut out to be a parent. And so as I went through all of that transformation, what I call evolution, that's why the name of my company is The Parent Evolution, because it's not about our kids. It's about how we evolve as parents to learn to do the right parent thing for our kids, and all of the things that it brings up in us to look at our own childhoods, and can we progress and grow into it. And I'm still growing now with my own grandchildren. So, I tell my parents I'm not out of the woods at all.
And if you're a parent and you're listening on the radio this afternoon, if you have a question, 774-0306 or 1-800-238-0306, or via Facebook at facebook.com/660KEYZ. I have a question for you. My 21-year-old daughter, I consider her my best friend. Is that okay?
Yes. It is okay, because obviously it's not that she's taking advantage of you. You and I have had a little discussion about your daughter. When you're raising your children and you have to do those tough parent things, it's important not to be the friend, but to be the parent. And what I've always said is that later you can be friends, but there are so many challenging things and tough decisions that we have to make for our children that if we are concerned about losing their love for us or that they don't like us, we're not going to be able to follow through and do. So I recommend that you can be friendly and you can be supportive, and you can love them more than life, but you're ultimately the parent. And the kids that don't have parents as parents, but as friends, wind up with a big piece missing, I've found.
We have a question. I think Thomas is on the phone right now with perhaps a listener that's called in. And so we're going to see what our producer has for us right now. Thomas?
Yes, this caller comes to us from Fort Berthold, and she is currently a parent. And caller, go ahead. You're on the Bakken is Talking with Lorraine Purcell.
Appreciate your program. I have not heard of it. I'm a parent of 6 boys and 3 girls. I've been with their father, and he worked in the oil fields 30-some-odd years ago. You talk about being joined and stuff, and cultural activity when it comes to fun and family, and when it comes to spirituality and all. When you find yourself and you respect yourself, it's going to be a little easier to get support from others. And like I said, I've been with my children's father for 34 years. We never had a paper or anything to engage us, but it's finding yourself, and you can't withdraw with yourself as a parent. Parenting is a spiritual process, and Mother Earth is getting sucked up by the Bakken, and Mother Earth is all we have in actuality. I mean, this illusion of the Bakken is a process that we all have to overcome. And, we could go on about the subject for a long time, but I'd like to sit down with you one day and talk about what Mother Earth does for us, as we are gardeners, we are tree planters, we are harvesters, and we respect Mother Earth. And of course, there's a way we have to go out and do what is going on with the Bakken. And yes, indeed, I kind of appreciate the and 660 is my country. I mean, forever.
Well, we thank you so much. Thank you for your call, and thank you for your comments. I thank you so much.
And I wish
listening.
you luck with your child, and whatever comes with the Bakken is a process, and it's going to be lived. It's going to be lived, and you respect Mother Earth, and she'll respect you, and
sure,
it's just a whole big subject. It's a territorial thing when it comes to us individuals.
Well, thank you very much for the call, and stay
yes,
on the line.
Indeed.
stay on the line if you could, so
I sure
so I
will.
can get
hang
your
on to the line.
contact information. Thank you.
Lorraine, are there comments from that caller that you'd like to speak to?
Well, the first thing that strikes me is, I applaud this woman for having so many children and still breathing. I only had one. I was afraid to have more than one. And so, congratulations to you. And I can just kind of tell by your tone and your spirit that you are a good and kind and caring mother. And it is all about connecting to our children and teaching our children to connect emotionally. And I think a lot does come back to Mother Earth, and that's how we teach our children to respect the earth, is by teaching them how we respect them. We can't be hypocrites and tell them to do something that we're not doing for them.
Thank you, Lorraine. I thank you, caller, too. And we'll give those phone numbers again, 774-0306 or 1-800-238-0306, or also by Facebook at facebook.com/660KEYZ. We're going to take a break, be back with Lorraine Purcell on The Bakken is Talking.
Jay Farner here with Quicken Loans. Here are 2 simple words that should make you reconsider waiting to buy a home. Buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,350. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 4.25%, APR 4.5%, that payment could support a $275,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6%, that same $1,350 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $225,000 mortgage. That's $50,000 worth of home that you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. And you can be confident that Quicken Loans will do everything possible to ensure that you have an amazing mortgage experience. In fact, we have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Give Quicken Loans a call today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com and maximize your buying power.
Payment example excludes taxes and insurance calls for cost information. Equal housing lender license in all 50 states and MLS number.
Winter wheat growers know that the best way to predict a strong harvest is to get their crop off to a fast start. Nothing does that better than Jumpstart LCO. Jumpstart LCO combines 2 proven technologies. The first is a naturally occurring phosphate solubilizer. Its job is to make fertilizer and soil-bound phosphate more available to your wheat. The second is LCO promoter technology, which enhances root and shoot development regardless of environmental conditions. Brought together in Jumpstart LCO, they promote better plant health and vigor for improved stand establishment. Right from the start, you're on the fast track to higher yield in your winter wheat. Ask your ag retailer or seed dealer for more information about the proven science of Jumpstart LCO, or learn more at bioag.novozymes.com.
Truth be told, your electricity comes from people power, from the hard-working efficiency of the men and women of your electric co-op. Their dedication to providing reliable electricity has kept families and friends connected for generations. And thankfully, People Power is one energy source that you can always depend on. Learn more about the power of your co-op membership at TogetherWeSave.com.
There's no room for second-guessing or doubt on your farm. So when planting season rolls around, select the soybean that has shown to drive as much confidence as it does consistency. Asgrow. With our Rockstar product lineup backed by the unique 4P system, the bean that leads the game has now perfected the playbook to help you turn up your yield volume like never before. The Asgrow 4P system is a comprehensive growing approach designed to push yield performance in your acres to the highest possible levels. And you'll only find it with Asgrow. Just ask around. After all, if you're not planting Asgrow, you're just planting soybeans. Work with your North Dakota area expert Asgrow dealer to plug into the Rockstar products that can help you change the game on your farm. Individual results may vary. Always read and follow grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
Here in the oil patch, sandblasting, coating, and tank lining are a fact of life. Here's another fact. There's a local company who does just that. Raptor Enterprises, located just south of Watford City, sandblasts and coats frac tanks, vac trailers, treaters, water, and crew tanks too. Why ship it when you can have it done right here? Raptor Enterprises. Get your tanks blasted and lined locally. Call 701-651-7195 or check out raptorblast.com. That's RAPTOR blast.com.
What's for breakfast? It's Cousin Earl and the Keys crew with the latest news, talk, weather, and sports on your news and information source for Williston and the Bakken. The new Keys AM 660.
We're back on the Bakken is Talking. 1-800-238-0306. That I know there's zeros in there, lots of zeros, or 774-0306. Facebook.com/660KEYZ. And in the studio with me is my guest this afternoon, Lorraine Purcell. She's a counselor, coach, parent mentor, and new friend. And I'm so glad to have you joining me this afternoon, Lorraine.
Thank you, Dee.
You've got a seminar coming up, How to Have Grateful Kids in Time for Thanksgiving. I love that. We want to talk about that before we leave here, and I'm going to give you, listeners, I'm going to give you ways to contact Lorraine. But do we have, Thomas, do we have a phone call? Okay, we have a question. We have a phone call. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, this is EJ from Williston. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And your question for Lorraine.
Yes, Lorraine, I'm new to the area. I came from New England back in August, and I have 3 young children, a 10-year-old daughter and 12 and 13-year-old sons, and I just really miss them. And it's really hard when it comes to the discipline. My ex-wife has been calling, and she's had trouble with one of my sons. In fact, he even called a couple of weeks ago and wanted to move here like it was moving to, a couple of miles down the road. So I just want some advice on how to handle, being so far away, the discipline aspect.
Great question. And thank you for calling in.
Thanks for your call.
What I would suggest first and foremost is that you and you said your ex-wife, get on the same page as far as what you think is reasonable and important and what the biggest priorities are. Because there's only so much you're going to be able to do, but if you are a united front, it is going to serve your children so well. And that means you guys communicating on the phone every night if you need to. I recommend talking to your kids every single night, reading to them every night over the phone, FaceTiming, Skyping, make Walmart your friend in the post office for delivery. These things will go a long way for keeping your family intact, and I really empathize with your situation. I hope that was helpful. I wanted to give you a way to reach me if you need to off the air. My phone number is area code 808. I'm from Hawaii, 936-4370. 808-936-4370. And if you'd like free ongoing support, both emotionally and for parents, you can go to www.yourkidslovinglife.com. I'm going to spell that YOURKIDSLOVING life.com and sign up, and you'll get my support free every week.
And Lorraine, you also have the seminar coming up, How to Have Grateful Kids in Time for Thanksgiving. Tell us about that.
Well, I know that's a big issue for parents, is to have materialistic kids that just want, and don't want to do anything for it. And if you come to my seminar, I'm going to show you how to get that all straightened out.
And that's coming up, by the way, Tuesday, November 12th,
yes.
6:30 to 9 p.m. At Williston State College.
Yes.
Okay, so you can, if they want to find out more about the seminar,
go ahead and give me a call or go to Williston State College. I think it's the continuing ed, and but call me. I can get you hooked up.
All right. Thanks, Lorraine. Okay, Thomas has a comment.
One question for you, Lorraine. You're from Hawaii, and you're here in North Dakota. What happened?
Well, it's a very interesting thing. My son called me in the spring and said, I would love nothing more, Mom, than for you to come and be a part of my family here in Williston. And that's all I needed to hear. So it's just, it's going to be a cold winter, but very warm in my heart. And I'm just thrilled to be with my daughter-in-law and my 3 beautiful grandchildren. And so now I know that I really can help parents raise responsible kids who will want to be with them when they no longer have to be.
Lorraine Purcell has been our guest this afternoon on The Bakken is Talking. Counselor, coach, parent, mentor. She has a weekly column in the Herald. She has ways you can get a hold of her for ongoing support. 808-936-4370, 808-936-4370, or yourkidslovinglife.com. I am so thankful to you, Lorraine, for coming into the studio this afternoon. It's great to get to know you better.
Thank you, Dee.
I almost want to ask for your autograph. I feel like I'm meeting a celebrity because I read your column for several weeks, and I thought, I'm going to call this lady and ask her if she'll be on the show. And then here you are, and now here you are. Look at us here talking together. And you know what? We've had more response. I hope that you'll come back.
I'd love to.
Because you have garnered more audience response from our listeners than any guest we have had so far.
Well, great.
On The Bakken is Talking. And so we appreciate that. All right, we've got to wrap up the show for this Monday afternoon. Thanks for joining us on The Bakken is Talking.
What's new and exciting at Niemont? The Galaxy S3 has just arrived, inspired by nature with its smooth and gentle curves, yet designed for humans with its enhanced usability and Ferrari-like frame. Niemont's Galaxy S3 is a true intelligent smartphone with features like Smart Stay, Buddy Photo Share, S-Beam, and Smart Alert. This phone is smoking hot, so don't forget to bring your gloves when you stop down to your local Niemont office or call us at 1-800-636-6680. Get Niemont and get connected.
Lori Morris doesn't go out without Bullfrog Mosquito Coast.
My son and I are mosquito magnets. And if I'm not wearing the Mosquito Coast sunscreen, I am immediately eaten alive. And so is he. We don't get sunburn when we use the Bullfrog, and we don't get bit. I always carry Bullfrog with me.
Bullfrog Mosquito Coast. New easy continuous spray. DEET-free 8-hour repellent, SPF 30. The #1 choice to beat the burn and the bite. Use as directed. Bullfrog on Facebook and Twitter.
Farming's my life, and that's not going to change. But it's risky. Good farmers know their expenses and how to control them. So when it comes to insurance, I have to ask tough questions like, do I have equipment breakdown coverage? What if the GPS in my combine short circuits? And my favorite, can I call in the middle of the night to report a claim? I like that one.
For over 60 years, Nodak Mutual's been protecting farmers and ranchers in just about every scenario you can imagine. Nodak Mutual, agents with answers.
Your news and information source for Williston and the Bakken. The new KEYZ. Keys AM 660. Williston.
And it was strong enough to be felt throughout the suburbs of Chicago, but the tremor wasn't an earthquake. ABC's Ryan Burrow in Chicago with more on what it was.
Initial reports from the U.S. Geological Survey showed a 3.7 magnitude earthquake centered 20 miles southwest of Chicago, but the agency retracted that, saying it was the result of a quarry blast. Witnesses say the rumbling lasted about 5 seconds.
It was kind of weird. I was on the phone conducting some business, and all of a sudden the ground was shaking and rattling, and the walls started shaking, and things were dropping off.
I was feeling the building sway. I was sitting at my desk, and it was like I felt like a roll.
There were no immediate reports of damage or injuries. Ryan Burrow, ABC News, Chicago.
One of Wall Street's most successful hedge funds will be shutting down because it made its money by cheating. Here's ABC's Aaron Katursky.
SAC Capital Advisors has agreed to pay record fines of more than $1 billion and stop managing client money, punishment that U.S. Attorney Preet Bharara says fits the scale of insider trading.
That is the just and appropriate price, in our view, for the pervasive and unprecedented institutional misconduct that occurred here.
The hedge fund's owner, billionaire art and real estate collector